Hi, I'm Joseph R. Profaci. I'm the Executive Director of the North American Olive Oil Association. As the Executive Director, I like to think of myself as an ambassador for all things olive oil. And so, the mission of the association is to grow consumption, and my job is to do what it takes to help the industry do that, whether it's working with the government to make sure there are no obstacles to trade, or facilitating sales and educating consumers. So it really runs the gamut. What the American market does not know about olive oil never ceases to amaze me. We had one study we did with the consumer group a few years ago, where we showed them a bottle of olive oil and we asked them a bunch of questions what that meant. And remarkably, we found that 30% of consumers did not believe or weren't sure if olive oil came from olives. So we're dealing with that kind of lack of awareness that's really holding back sales in the United States. In order to raise consumer awareness, you really need to focus on education, and unfortunately that's pretty costly. So one of the things we're hoping we can establish in the United States is a research and promotion order, a marketing board, a promotion board, to help us get the message out about what makes olive oil special. Because really, at the end of the day, olive oil is a cooking oil, and consumers have a choice of many different cooking oils. Olive oil is the most expensive, and if they're going to shell out more money for olive oil, they need to understand why and need to appreciate its value. When we approach this question to consumers, how do we convince them that olive oil is worth the higher price they have to pay, we look at flavor as one of the primary factors. But health, we know, is what is attracting them to the category. If they don't know olive oil, they hear that it's healthy, they get interested. So that's bringing them in, but without the taste, without the yum factor, we know that we're not getting anywhere. So that's critical. The authenticity factor of olive oil is also very important, I think. It means different things. When it comes to authenticity, it means different things to different people. But olive oil has the advantage of you could actually go visit the tree where your olive oil came from. So it comes down to a rudimentary level like that the olive oil comes from trees. And then finally, it's a new message, but I think the sustainability message is going to become more and more important. And it's one that olive oil has a very rich story to tell when it comes to sustainability. Olive oil's advantage when it comes to sustainability really derives from a basic message that olive oil is a product of a permanent crop as opposed to an annual crop. And this is just a very easy, basic, simple to understand message. And it has very important implications, because as the Food and Agriculture Organization of the UN has recognized, when you compare annual and permanent crops have some distinct advantages in terms of managing the potential for water efficiency, for minimizing inputs like fertilizer and pesticides, for storing carbon, for soil management and nutrients. With the permanent crops have deeper roots as opposed to the shallow roots. So as a permanent crop, olive oil has a distinct advantage over other oil crops that are not. Another important part of olive oil's sustainability story is the fact that it uses basically all parts of the plant and the fruit. So after you're crushing the olives, you get your oil. You're left with the pomace. You're left with the mash. That can be used in various ways. It can be used to extract some more oil. but it also has been very proven to be very effective in use as a fertilizer when mixed with other things like manure. The pruning process that goes on with olive trees as well, the branches and the leaves can be used as mulch. There's an interesting thing too. Olive oil is one of the only foods that's graded with a sensory evaluation. But as a result of that, it creates an issue where you have oils that don't make the grade. So what do you do with that? And so olive oil also can be refined, and for culinary applications where you want a neutral tasting oil, olive oil can fit the bill if it's been refined. So it's something that more and more we're discovering other potential benefits in terms of the polyphenol content. Some of that's been extracted from the wastewater. So it seems to be an endless process of keeping sort of the circular economy of olive production and olive oil production. One of the things we know about olive oil and the ways to market it. Olive oil became really popular in this country 30-odd years ago with the popularity of the Mediterranean diet. People suddenly learned about a diet that was good for them and actually tasted good. And so it really was that sort of pairing of health with flavor. And I see that there's going to be a parallel as this sustainability message becomes more and more important to consumers. The fact that they will have choices to make among products and have to decide which ones meet their sustainability values. When they find the one that they prefer, if it doesn't taste good, they're not going to buy it. And so that's where olive oil, I think, has a great potential to drive the sustainability purchase, because it not only has a great sustainability story, but it tastes great. It has that great flavor. So really what we're looking at is sort of a holy trinity, of taste, health, and sustainability. At the conference we're attending today here at UC Davis on sustainability, we're learning so much about the potential for the olive oil industry to improve the sustainability of olive oil and olive oil production. Many of the topics are delving into very technical details in terms of soil management and genetic choice of which trees work best and which type of cultivation method, et cetera, et cetera. But my expertise is really more in the marketing and business end of olive oil sector. And so where I see important benefits and ways that we can continue to drive the sustainability and improve it, it's a lot of it's going to be in packaging. We're seeing increased use of RPET, bag and box solutions, refillable bottles. These are all things that I have seen and I know are being developed as we speak. Smoke point is one of the topics when we touch on what consumers know and don't know. There's a lot of concern about whether you can cook with extra virgin olive oil or olive oil in general. And there's a lot of misinformation. And so part of this is the idea that olive oil has a low smoke point. Olive oil smoke point is not very low. And extra virgin olive oil in particular has a smoke point that will vary. But the thing about smoke point is that it's used as a marker for when your oil may be breaking down. And there's that expression, where there's smoke, there's fire, right? So where you see smoke, there's danger. But when it comes to olive oil, it's not true. The smoke does not mean danger. the smoke can mean different things. The smoke can be coming from the polyphenols that are getting heated. Now, oftentimes consumers will also confuse steam that's coming off of their food that's cooking in olive oil as smoke and get scared. But no, in fact, research has been done that shows that olive oil, in particular extra virgin olive oil that's rich in antioxidants, does not break down. In fact, it breaks down much later than oils that have higher smoke points. And so the idea, this smoke point idea, is really it's a false flag. It's a red herring when it comes to cooking with olive oil. Olive oil will lose some of its flavors, and some of the things that you cherish about it when you heat it, and you heat it a lot. But also research will show that when you cook with olive oil, the antioxidants and the polyphenols, while they may be reduced, a substantial amount remain in the oil, and another portion of those gets transferred to the food you eat. So if your choice is to cook with a good quality extra virgin olive oil, if you can afford to, or a neutral refined oil that has no polyphenols whatsoever, the fact that you may get less when you cook with extra virgin olive oil as opposed to using it raw, you're still far better off than cooking with an oil that has no olive polyphenols to begin with.